Shalom, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahasham Yahushai, Wahab Rakah Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word, sincerity and in truth. And I want to just go into meditating on proper judgment, because that's basically what we're gonna be set up to be. The nation of Israel is going to be a nation of kings and priests, judges, and we're going to be judging righteous judgment. That's going to be our job. That's going to be our employment in the kingdom. All right, to rule over this realm, man, and to make wise judgments in righteousness, and to bring forth justice in the earth, which is not in the earth at this moment. Because first and foremost, you got the so-called white man, who is the chief bringer of so-called justice in this world. He himself is corrupt and is a criminal. And that's why this world is out of balance and out of course, because there's no justice, there's no balance, there's no judgment. The judgment is perverted. So we are preparing to be the agents of justice and righteousness in this world. It's not all about having sex. That's not what it's all about. It's about righteous judgment, right? Being a prince of the power, being a son of God, there's a duty that comes with that. Yeah, there's the perks. The perks is the blessings that we receive. Yeah, that's known as the perks. Like if you get a really good job, they call it the perks of the job. But we still gonna have a job to do. And what is that job? Judgment. Now, I came across this, so I'm gonna play some, and we're gonna get into some topics, man. Hey, the scripture says, "Know ye not that the saints shall judge the world," man. We gonna have to judge in righteousness between right and wrong, and what is the proper punishment thereof. That's what we're gonna be doing.
A man just confessed to stabbing a former Boy Scout leader to death, and as a result, his first-degree murder charge has been lessened to a second-degree charge known as one count of passion, provocation, manslaughter. Okay, so what's going on behind this story? A man by the name of Clark.
All right, so I mean, in Esau's so-called criminal justice system, he's got different types of manslaughter and different types of murder and all this crap. At the end of the day, in the scriptures, there's three things basically. It's either it was a righteous kill, so the killing was righteous, i.e., it was in self-defense, or whatever you caught, because you could kill a thief if you catch him breaking in the night. Then his blood shall be upon him. All right, you can kill someone if they've committed a sin worthy of death, if there's two or three witnesses. All right, so there's righteous killing in the scriptures. Then you got murder, which is premeditated, and murder is murder. All right, and abortion is also murder. That's in the scriptures. If you were to beat a woman who's pregnant, and she have a miscarriage and the child die, that was and is considered murder in the scriptures, and you would be put to death. So that's murder too. Just to throw that out there, that abortion is no different than any other form of murder. It's all murder, okay? But then you have manslaughter, which is accidental. Like the scriptures give the example of if you're chopping down a tree in the forest and the axe slip off, the head of the axe slips off and catches someone in the neck or in the head and they die, then that's manslaughter. And there's a way we would deal with that. You would have to basically, let's bring it out. Numbers 35 and 6 says, "And among the cities which ye shall give unto the Levites, there shall be 6 cities for refuge, which ye shall appoint for the manslayer, that he may flee thither. To them shall ye add 40 and 2 cities." Let's jump down. It says, then ye shall appoint you cities to be cities of refuge for you, that the slayer may flee thither, which killeth any person at unawares. And they shall be unto you cities for refuge from the avenger, that the manslayer die not until he stand before the congregation in judgment. So if you killed someone, right, by accident, you would flee to these cities, because by rights, the family of that person that you've killed, if they get hold of you, they can kill you for that slaying. They're the avenger of blood. So you would have to flee to one of these cities, and then what would happen is there would be a trial to determine whether or not it was manslaughter or murder. And if it is shown that it was manslaughter, then you would be allowed to live in that city of refuge. All right. And the family of the person who was killed wouldn't be. Well, you know what? We're gonna read it anyway. Let me get it. Right. This is Numbers 35 and 15. These 6 cities shall be a refuge both for the children of Israel and for the stranger and for the sojourner among them, that everyone that killeth any person unawares may flee thither. And if he smite him with an instrument of iron so that he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. And if he smite him with throwing a stone wherewith he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. Or if he smite him with a hand weapon of wood, whereof he may die, and he die, he is a murderer. The murderer shall surely be put to death. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. And avenger of blood is Gaal, which is basically your kinsman redeemer. All right, which Yahushua is the Gaal of Israel. All right, Isaiah the 63rd chapter tells you that he is the redeemer, the kinsman redeemer. All right, the revenger of blood would be one of your kinsmen. But if he thrust him of hatred, or hurl at him by laying of weight, that he die, or in enmity smite him with his hand that he die, he that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer when he meeteth him. But if he thrust him suddenly without enmity, or have cast upon him anything without laying of weight, or if any stone wherewith a man may die, seeing him not, and cast it upon him that he die, and was not his enemy, neither sought his harm, basically it was an accident, then the congregation shall judge between the slayer and the revenger of blood according to these judgments. And the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of the blood. So they're going to say, look, man, nah, man, it was manslaughter. Right? And if it's manslaughter, then you can't put your hands on him. If you do put your hands on him, then that would be considered to be murder. That's why you can't be emotional. All right? You had a lot of these guys, when we brought out Deuteronomy 22:28, oh, I'd kill the guy. Well, hold on. If you did that, you'd be going against judgment. The scriptures don't say you're supposed to kill a man for that. If you do that, then you would be considered a murderer, mate. And you'll be put to death. You got to do what the scriptures say. You got to judge not according to emotion, but according to the judgments which are written in the scriptures, man. Like if a guy key your car, you ain't really got a right to kill him. If you kill him, that's murder. You got a right to get restitution. You may even whoop his ass, but if you whoop him and you kill him, That's murder, man. That's why you gotta be careful, man. You can't be led by your emotions, man. All right. And the congregation, which I'm not saying, hey, in this society, don't be putting your hands on nobody, man, unless it's in self-defense. And when I say self-defense according to the definition in the particular constituency where you are, you better know what self-defense means. Because sometimes you might do something thinking it's self-defense, and then them lawyers will tear your ass up. Like over here in the UK, self-defense is one strike and running. Self-defense isn't beating the guy to the ground and then booting him in the head 10 times. You're gonna go down for grievous bodily harm, especially if you broke a tooth out his damn head. So you gotta know what self-defense means where you are. All right, so don't take that as Ricard's, telling people to go out there and beat people up. No, don't do that. Okay, all right. Don't beat nobody up. Don't beat nothing. Don't even beat eggs. All right, whisk them. All right, and the congregation shall deliver the slayer out of the hand of the revenger of blood, and the congregation shall restore him to the city of his refuge. And that's kind of like a consolation, meaning he now really doesn't have freedom to live his life the way he wants to live, where he would normally have the freedom to go wherever he wants within Israel. Now he has to reside within that city. You see? So there's kind of like a trade-off. He's not done anything which is worthy of him being put to death, but his so-called freedom is being reduced because he now has to live in that city of refuge, whether he was fled, and he shall abide in it until the death of the high priest, which was anointed with the holy oil. But if the slayer shall at any time come without the border of the city of his refuge, whither he was fled, right? So if he remained in that city, let's say the revenger of blood had business in that city, and the revenger of blood, let's say this guy killed your brother. It was an accident. He killed your brother. Now you might have loved your brother dearly. You hurting, man. You miss your brother. Yeah. So you got them emotions, and you see the guy, and you're like, nah, it's his fault. You get all emotional. Hey, guess what, man? You can't put hands on that man. The judgment is that he according to the Most High, he has done nothing worthy of death so long as he remains in that city. So you gotta hold it down. You better hold it down, because if you go and do something to that man, that's that very same day. You better know that you gonna be in the ground with him. Because you going off, you committing sin right there. All right? That's why the scripture says, be angry and sin not, man. All right? You got to control your emotions. It says, and the revenger, if the guy left the city, so if say like he left the city, he said, you know what, man, I'm going to go back to my hometown because my mother died or something, he left the city. And let's say the Avenger of Blood, that someone came to him like, yo, I see so-and-so the other day, I heard he was blah, blah, blah. And man, catch you outside of that city. Hey, if he put you to death, the blood is on your own hands, because, hey, he is within his right to put you to death for the blood of his brother. All right. And the Avenger of Blood find him without the, now again, this is, let me say it again. This is according to Bible law. Don't be going out there killing nobody, man. All right? I got to say that, man. This is me talking about judgments in the scriptures in accordance to how these judgments are going to be done in the kingdom of heaven. Because the kingdom of heaven is going to be ruled after this law. We're going to rule over the heathen with this law. I'm not talking about now. Okay? So don't dig up your gap from wherever you got it and go try to do some stupidity, man. I ain't telling you to kill no one or do nothing of the sort. We're just getting an understanding of right and wrong according to the scriptures, of judgment according to the scriptures. In due time, when Revelations 2 and 24 to 25 is put into place, and the Lord give us power over the nation's jurisdiction, that's when we're going to administer these judgments and laws, man, in their perfection. Okay, right now you got to chill, man. I must needs say that, man, to be responsible. All right, because I don't want no one getting misconstrued and get caught up and run out there and bust someone over the head. All right, talking about some revenger of blood. And the revenger of blood find him without the borders of the city of his refuge, and the revenger of blood kill the slayer, he shall not be guilty of blood. So he ain't going to be guilty of murder, because that guy left the city. The agreement of the manslaughter is you got to stay in that city of refuge until the high priest had passed. Then after that, you could leave the city of refuge, and if the slayer of the revenger of blood see you, he gotta just keep walk on by. All right, and that's how it is. Hopefully by then his emotion, the emotion of the family would have died down anyway. Time, they say time heals wounds, man. Because he should have remained in the city of his refuge until the death of the high priest. But after the death of the high priest, the slayer shall return into the land of his possession. So these things shall be for a statute of judgment unto you throughout your generations in all your dwellings. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses. But one witness shall not testify against any person to cause him to die. So a guy could have murdered someone. If there's only one witness, you couldn't put the penalty of death. All right, you have to leave it up to the Most High. The Most High catch that dude on the back end. All right, and that's what's gonna happen anyway. Seeing that a lot of people, they do murders, and they think they get away with it, man. But what they don't understand, look, in the kingdom of heaven, man, we're gonna be putting judgment on all you people that have murdered people, serial killers, and all that. You thought you got away with it, man? We gonna know exactly what you did in the kingdom, because the Lord is gonna be dealing with us. We're going to have that spiritual Urim and Thummim, the spiritual Google, man. And all you people that were pedophiles and all that on this side, and you think you got away with something, we're going to catch you on the other side, man. And we're going to know exactly what you did. And we're going to bring the correct punishment to balance that energy, man. And that's what judgment is. That's why they even in this society, they bring judgment as a scale. Well, guess what? If the scales is unbalanced, you got to bring the proper punishment on there to balance it. And that's what we're going to be doing for 1,000 years in the kingdom. We're going to be balancing all this energy that's off from this side of the world. It says, moreover, ye shall take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall surely be put to death, meaning there ain't no money for life. It's life for a life. You couldn't, just in this society, if you got enough money, you can get away with anything. But according to righteousness, if a rich man kill a poor man, you might think, oh, okay, I'll give the family this, that, and the third. That happens all the time. Like some big major corporation, they'll create some poison and give it to some child somewhere, and the child will be put to death. And in the back of their mind, the family's they're upset, but they're kind of happy, because they know they're going to do a lawsuit, and then the company might pay out like 10 million, 15 million for the life of that child. Well, guess what? That's wicked. You ain't supposed to take no money. You're supposed to take life for a life. So whoever was responsible, man, for that, is really supposed to be put to death according to the Bible. Now, I'm not saying if that occurrence happened, you're supposed to go kill some CEOs or whatever, or whoever. No. I'm talking about in the kingdom of heaven, it's going to happen a whole different way. Because right now, everything's gone off. Again, let me say it again, man. You ain't supposed to go out and kill nobody in this man's society, man. Period. Yeah? That, you ain't supposed to do that, man. All right? Period. It says, moreover, you shall not take no satisfaction for the life of a murderer, which is guilty of death, but he shall surely be put to death. And ye shall take no satisfaction for him that is fled to the city of his refuge, that he should come again to dwell in the land until the death of the priest. Meaning a guy can't pay you, you know what, man, hey, you know what, I want to go back to my land early, I'm going to pay this. No. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein you are, For blood it defileth the land. It's blood for blood. And the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. And money ain't involved in that. Defile not therefore the land which ye shall inhabit, wherein I dwell, for I the Lord dwell among the children of Israel. And right now, man, there's all kind of this place is defiled, man. It's out of balance. So we're gonna have to bring back proper balance, man. So a lot of you pedophiles, man, like Jimmy Savile, he done all that wickedness and he died. He didn't pay for it. Well, guess what? He gonna pay in the kingdom, because he gonna be reincarnated, and we gonna know exactly, okay, yeah, that's that dude coming back in the reincarnation, and we gonna know exactly every crime he committed. We gonna know, because the Lord is gonna open up our minds, man, for the spiritual Google, and we gonna know exactly what the right judgments are to mete out that punishment, and it's gonna be exactly what the punishment should be. No more and no less. That's proper judgment. All right?
Fredericks maintains that he was sexually molested and also raped by a man by the name of Dennis Pegg. Now, Dennis Pegg was never charged with this. He was never tried for it. However, there were other individuals who came forward and said that they were also victims.
So straight away, out of the mouth of 2 and 3 witnesses, this guy that was stabbed to death was a homosexual, man. So guess what, man? It was in this man's rights to put him to death, because he's a witness to this man's and a victim of this man's homosexuality, and you had other witnesses. So according to the Bible, nobody shouldn't be going to jail for this man's death.
Of
molestation, punished. That's not manslaughter. You see what I'm saying?
And rape. And so Clark Fredericks finally decided that he wanted to take matters into his own hands. And one day, after the Jerry Sandusky trial began, he and a friend decided to go to Dennis Pegg's home, and then he proceeded to stab Pegg more than 20 times, and he died as a result.
Hey, that's a crime of passion right there.
Now, the incredible thing is, as Fredericks was basically saying that he was guilty, he totally confessed to this crime. The people in the...
He ain't guilty, man. I mean, he an Edomite probably, or I don't know, he could be a Jake. It don't matter whether he's an Edomite or Jake. In this particular instance, according to the Bible, he's not guilty, man. He is not guilty of a crime, because the guy who he killed was guilty, man. By the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, man. This dude committed a sin unto death. It's that simple. All right?
Courtroom stood up and gave him a round of applause. Now, according to Mediaite, he says the following of what happened to him when he was a kid. He says, from the time I was 8 years old until I was 12 years old, I was sexually assaulted and raped by Dennis Pegg. It started with him wanting to touch my scar that I had through open heart surgery at the age of 6.
Jesus.
It progressed to wrestling matches and...
The guy in the back said, Jesus, you know. This dude's sick, bro. This dude was a homo predator. And there's a whole lot of homo predators out there, man. Yeah? Feasting on these young men. These young boys and these young men. Homo predators all up in prison, all up in the social worker industry, foster carers, teachers, there's all kinds of uncles, aunties, it's all kind of sexual homoerotic predators out there, man, feasting on young people, man, young children and young adults, young men and young women. You know, aunties molesting nieces and all that stuff, man. Some homo erectus madness, man. Uncles touching up them boys, right? Touching up girls which are below the age, man.
Eventually led him to raping me. CBS Local actually reported that Fredericks said that Pegg would torture and kill animals while out scouting, and threatened to do the same to him if Fredericks told anyone about our secret.
Now, several people have come forward saying Dennis Pegg did the same thing to them.
So if that's the case, Right now, you could correct me if I'm wrong, Arkham. Hey, if you think I'm wrong, hey, correct me. But from what I read in the scriptures, out of the mouth of 2 and 3 witnesses, that means that there was more than 3 witnesses to the heinous crimes this man had committed. So as far as I'm concerned, according to the Holy Scriptures, man, the judgment was clear according to the Scriptures. If this was a biblical setting. Now, obviously, hey, according to this corrupt world, this guy committed manslaughter, and they still gonna put him in jail, and he probably gonna get raped again. That's how crazy this is.
The reason we don't allow for this, and the reason why they're right to put him in jail, is because, well, Dennis Pegg never got a trial, right? So what if he was wrong, right? What if he had the wrong guy, And now it's not, in this case, it seems unlikely. And I get why everybody applauded. And, there's a part of me
that wants to applaud as well.
That wants to applaud as well. I'm just being honest about my humanity or lack thereof, right? But we can't have it. But at the same time, I think that they were probably right to drop it to manslaughter.
That's not manslaughter, man. That's not manslaughter. All right? That is not manslaughter. That is not murder, and it's not manslaughter. Out of the mouth of 2 and 3 witnesses, man. All right? This dude was a homo predator, man.
The statute of limitations had run on Pegg's crimes.
Yeah.
So they couldn't have charged him anyway.
So
statute of what? Limitations? What the hell is that, man? Where is that in the scriptures, man? Statute of limitations. Hey, we gonna be getting people in the kingdom for shit they done did hundreds of years ago, man, that they ain't paid for yet. Talking about some statute. The Lord will punish you for something you did in your last life, and you talking about some statute of limitations, man. Man, oh boy.
Authority.
So you're telling me that dude wouldn't even have stood trial anyway? Even though all these people are coming forward, man? Man.
Found child pornography in Pegg's home. Again,
he went to the guy's home. Oh, man. Look, man. Hey, I don't know about you, Arkham, but if I was judging this, case dismissed. You know what I'm saying? It's over. Yeah, good riddance. Now go, good riddance.
Was another person who came forward who said, look, I was a victim of the exact same thing. Is it likely that he had committed these crimes? Yes, but it's important to go through the justice system, as flawed as it is.
See, even they know the justice system is corrupt. Is excuse my language, it's fuckery, man. Hey, that's why we need a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. And the thrones of David must needs be established for judgment, man. Because right now ain't no judgment going out, man. I mean, it is what it is, but hey, that's why we need a kingdom to get it right, man. But anyway, like that's what the scriptures say concerning manslaughter and murder, man. And that's how it is. And the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, which in the kingdom, man, we gonna have the witness which is in heaven. We gonna have the Urim and the Thurim, man. We gonna have the spiritual CCTV. We gonna be able to read minds. We gonna be able to judge with imperfection, man. Because we gonna know 100% the ins and outs of everything that in a matter, man. And we're gonna be able to make righteous judgments, man. Because we're gonna have witnesses, trust me. All right, in righteousness. But anyway, man, hey, I don't want to go on for too long. We got to think about these things. When you see things sometimes, we got to think about what the righteous judgment would be, according to the scriptures, man, without emotion. Regardless of who it is, whether you like the person or you don't like the person, you got to judge righteous judgment without bias, without prejudice. You got to just judge the situation. Is it right or is it wrong? Oh, I don't like this person, so I'm gonna make it right. No, is it right or is it wrong? That's what it's about. Righteous judgment, equity. So if that, I'm gonna say shalom.